I heard your thoughts.
I'm okay doing what we're doing for now with YouTube and recording and whatnot. Down the road, if we wanted to do something with it later, I'm okay keeping what we're doing right now.
I know I need to speak a little closer to the microphone.
It helps.
I thought everybody could hear me, but
It helps if we all do that. That's a good point of order. It just really helps if we're close to the microphone. It makes it easier for them to hear at home. Okay, so shall we just hold that for now? And
Yeah, I guess the direction, what I'm hearing is we're not going to move forward with this particular person, but maybe keep an open mind if something else comes along.
I agree.
But how good a recording are we getting off that expensive stuff in the other room over there? We have an audio.
The audio is fine.
Well, why don't we
What?
try?
YouTube's not currently working right now.
What's on now?
No, it's just
Yeah, so, I mean, sometimes we have issues with YouTube, internet, like, school was out here, it was working fine a little bit ago, now it's not working, so you're always gonna have issues with that, our audio always works.
So, what I'd like to maybe try in the meantime, won't cost us anything if we can find a way to take the audio and put it on the website so people could listen to the meetings versus trying to see. I don't know. I thought Facebook Live, whatever that was called, was working okay, and that was changed abruptly from what I thought. But I'm really liking finding the meetings I want to hear from other places and listen to the audio. I'd like to send us a picture, but that wouldn't cost us anything, right? Just to have that and the recording put on the website.
it might cost because the files with longer meetings, I won't have the ability to put those long files on, so we'll have to pay the website to help put those on. The shorter
That's
meetings,
one,
probably not a problem, but there's a certain file size that I am unable to download.
Well, how about cutting them in half, 1 and 2? That's what I do at work. I cut it in half.
Try that.
That's what Larry did when he sent me all that stuff that I couldn't find. He cut it in 4 and sent it out.
I could try that.
Maybe we could download each.
YouTube's working.
Facebook's working.
Each portion of the meeting could be downloaded separately.
So you cut it up like that.
That way, if someone wants to look at just the public comments or someone wants to look at just the resolutions,
So
they can go right to that file.
if you want to get with SWOCA and see how that would potentially work. Anything further on that?
Not at this point.
Okay, next item, Youth Commission Program.
The Youth Commission Program, I believe the mayor of Fairfield sent an email to the entire board. I had not received that, so I wasn't in the loop. He since reached out to me, and Mayor Rodas and I talked at length, and he has come up with this idea from other places that have done the same thing and had success. He really liked their model, so they're instituting a youth commission at the city and invited the township to participate. It looks like it'd be for us starting during the school year, so you're talking August, September through May. The city has students coming in 2 hours a month with every department. The city, of course, has more departments and a more heavily layered staff. So in talking to the mayor, he was very flexible in how, if the township's interested in how we would approach and set this program up. So as I've talked to people and looked at this, we have admin, police, fire, public works, fiscal office, zoning. We could possibly bring these students in once a month, focus on police once a month. I thought maybe we could hit a department a month versus the kids coming in every month. Because the whole premise of the committee is to provide these children, the students, with real world leadership experience, show them what these jobs are like, and then possibly give us candidates to use in the future. So that's everything in a nutshell. I don't know, after you've all had a chance to read, I don't know if some of you have talked to the mayor, where the board stands and how you'd like us to proceed.
Well, and also as a point of reference, there's different communities that do different things. So for example, the city of Hamilton, I know that they host some different days with, say, Baden High School, and they brought in students to spend time with like on a one-day kind of event where they go in and they meet with the different people. You know, if say someone's interested in safety, they would meet with the safety director for the city of Hamilton. And they gave them, I don't know if they did it this year, but they've done it in past years where they've allowed the students to go in and spend just one day, not an ongoing commitment. A few years ago here in Fairfield Township, we worked with Junior Achievement, and we did I think it was like a 3 or 4 hour session with where we brought in kids from Fairfield. We brought in each of the departments. Everyone talked about what we did, and then they had a pizza lunch. So, and that was just a one-day commitment. I think the city of Fairfield is looking at doing something every month, and say for 4 months they're going to meet with, and this is what Fairfield's doing, they're going to meet with the law director, and they'll spend a certain amount of time with the law director for 4 months, or a certain amount of time with public works for 4 months, and then they'll switch. I don't know that we have the staffing for that. For example, our law director is in Mason, so that might not be conducive by the time that the kids get out of school for them to go over there and to spend time with that. And the same thing too, I think our hours might be somewhat limited, but I do think maybe a hybrid approach where we have, like as Mrs. Vonderhaar was saying, they come in the first month, they get an overview of townships. What are townships? Maybe there's the next month is on police, the next month is on fire. But I don't want to commit staff to doing any of this if it isn't something that we have the resources for. Those are my thoughts on that. So I'll let others chime in on that. I don't want to commit any of you to something that would not be feasible for us to complete.
I would be interested to hear what the different departments have to say, what their capabilities are, what their suggestion would be, what that 2 hour time frame may look like, if they're doing it once a school year and having all the students in. I don't know that we need that answer right now, because I think we have a little bit of time before the mayor needs an answer. I am intrigued by the idea of getting our students involved here in the Fairfield School District. I think it ties in also with their government classes, and that's kind of where it started. And I think if something that the city is offering, I would like the township to offer something, so that we continue the great relationship that we have between Fairfield Township, Fairfield City, and the Fairfield schools. So I don't know what that looks like. I like Mrs. Vonderhaar's idea of maybe some sort of hybrid thing, but also would like to hear from staff what they think they're capable of doing. I know, we have zoning commission meetings, we have zoning BZA meetings, we have fire corps meetings, we have CPAA meetings, maybe all those types of things that the kids could get involved with. And then that leads to future involvement in those programs as well, because I know that the CPAA and the fire corps have trouble, recruiting more members. And so this is something that intrigues a high school senior. Maybe by the time he comes back from college, or on college break, if he's out of college, he can participate in summer activities. So I would be interested to hear what has it. And then, of course, we're looking for people to paint fire hydrants, and maybe that's someone that we bring in, and someone that can work in the public works department in the summer cutting grass, because we have some interest there. So I think this could all lead to ideas for our staff, but I would like to hear what they have to say, and I'm interested to hearing what Trustee McAfee has to say as well.
And are you okay with the staff thinking, I don't want to put them on the spot tonight?
Yeah, I don't need an answer tonight.
Okay, so that you can get back with us
Right.
at a future meeting.
If
'Cause we're not
you all like this idea, I had planned to have a meeting with the entire group and then brainstorm on what it would look like and what's feasible.
Okay. Trustee McAfee?
I hear your passion. you want to get involved in that and see what we can come up with. Let's come up with it, right? I've seen all kinds of different approaches, you know, in my 20+ years. So, I'd say keep looking, see what you can find. Fairfield City had a large group of youngsters there last summer. So,
About 30.
so let us know what you find out, if you don't mind. If you don't
Okay.
mind with that.
For you, I'll make the time. Well, I think it's definitely if Mrs. Bonahar can talk with staff and find out what the capabilities are, and then I know your communications with the city manager as well, and the mayor, communicate with them, and then just get back to us. That's okay.
Will do. Absolutely.
And I'll
Thank
be
you.
happy, you know, as far as the board is concerned, I'll be happy to help you spearhead those communications,
Okay.
whatever.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, next up, communication. This is the portion of the meeting where you, the residents of Fairfield Township, are invited to share your thoughts with the board. Please know that this time has been set aside from the board to listen to you. Your comments are valued and will be taken into careful consideration. The board will not engage in dialogue at this time. Presentations are limited to 3 minutes each. First up, we have Sean and Andrea Carlock. If you'd like to approach the podium and state your name and address for the record.
Andrea and Sean Carlock. We live at 7348 Morris Road. We live next to an HOA. Chuck and Jeff have been helpful to us. We live next to HOA Ascot Downs. We are not part of the HOA, but they sit at, there's a lake run that they run, and then their HOA begins. There's a retention pond behind our property. It floods my property in heavy rains. It's not maintained. It's never been dredged. The lake run itself is shallow. It floods consistently. It's always got trash in it, debris, dead fish, field mice, and who knows what bacteria. We have children, we have grandkids, and we worry. Recently on May 6th, it flooded our entire property. The entire box culvert at that lake run was completely underwater. Our excavator came and he said he had never seen anything like this in his work, and said the county and the township have got to help you. This is insane. Mind you, we have spent $30,000 since December on drainage, dirt, grass, and it's washing away. We need help. The pond, I don't understand. If the HOA is not maintaining it, why are we not draining it? I don't understand. It's an eyesore. We talk to the HOA. They tell us nobody pays their fees. When we walk through Ascot Downs and actually talk to neighbors that live on that pond, they tell us there's never been an HOA. They've never paid a fee. They have no clue what they're talking about. This pond, it's an eyesore. It stinks. The drainage right there, I don't know who's responsible for that. It floods. It consistently has debris in it. Me and Sean have to go out there and clean it. Nobody cares. Just on Saturday, there were logs like stacked up against it and trash. Nobody cares. And it's not even my property, but it's flooding our home. Sorry. A friend of us said, you know, why don't you look up the plot plan to Ascot Downs? We're clueless. I looked it up. It states right in there in the 1980s, I didn't bring it today, I should have, that when Ascot Downs was built on the south side, which is where our home is located on Morris Road, there is sufficient drainage problems in the 1980s. It states it right in the plot plan. We get trash all through the back of our yard. The entire Ascot Downs drains into a creek, I guess, to our neighbor's yard. Then it comes into my yard from his yard. We are constantly picking up trash, bottles, toys. We put an $8,000 drain over there, and it's consistently being filled with trash and not draining properly. And it's not my garbage. It also showed in the plot plan that there were flooding issues in the 80s. I mean, I've talked to Chuck about it. I know you guys have tried to help us. We don't understand how were permits approved when it states in the plot plans that there's drainage issues in the 80s. None of those drains have ever been updated. We just need help. I will tell you, on Friday, my home flooded on both ends. My neighbor had a tsunami. My child was terrified. Box 19 knocked on our door and wanted to do an interview. My basement flooded. I didn't know what to do. I was hysterical. We had to turn them away because I was dealing with too much. They took down our number. They called us the next day and said, we can't do the news story today. The flood is over. But we want you to call us the next time this happens, and we want to do an on-camera interview. Our street flooded. I mean, I don't understand. People are stopping at our home, taking pictures, asking us if we need help. The fire department's been to our house multiple times. We need help. Why is the pond, if it's not maintained, that lake run needs to be dug deeper or something for the water to flow better? The HOA, I'm consistently messaging him. They don't care. He told me they don't care. It's not their problem. It's a major eyesore. It's carrying bugs, ticks. There's field mice, dead fish coming out. Our daughter's seeing it. I've got a 2-year-old grandson. I mean, we have to do something. We have to fight. I don't want to go on the news and put my personal business out there. It's embarrassing. But we need help. We're at a standstill. I've got thousands of pictures, videos for anyone to see. We've spoken to our neighbor. He speaks very broken English. He doesn't know what to do. I told him to come. He has no drainage in his yard. It's all crushed. And Jeff has been very helpful to us. But he tells me I don't have money to fix it, so it's affecting my yard. But in his defense, the whole neighborhood is flooding into his yard above us. And we need help. This is devastating to my family. I'm 44. My husband is 50. If I was younger, I would pick up my belongings and leave that house. But I can't do that. We have perfect credit. What do? Do I walk away and ruin my life? We need compassion and we need help.
We'll look into it and get back with you. I'm sorry that happened to you. That's rough.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming out. We'll
Thank
get
you.
back with you.
Yeah.
Okay, next up we have Maria Tangi. If you'd like to state your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, I'm Maria Tangi, 1891 Harvard Street, and I just wanted to come and give an update on the community garden. So we had some more volunteers show up, and we built a sign, which I didn't bring anything. I wasn't prepared today as I wanted to be, but if you look on our Facebook page or Instagram, there's a sign there, and if you drive by, you'll see it. We also planted all the things I had available to plant this weekend on Mother's Day. And we're in the process of building a take a plant, leave a plant. So at some point when you drive by, if you're like, ooh, I wish I had, stop by and see if there's one available and take a plant. And I just wanted to run down a list of things that are planted so far. I have some watermelon planted, tomato, basil, bunching onions, tomatillos. Let's see, Swiss chard, radishes, peppers. There's a mystery bed because it got mixed up in some stuff and I don't know what it was. So we're going to see what happens in one of those beds. We have kale, lettuce, spinach, onions, peas, and carrots. So I can't wait to see what happens when all this stuff comes and grows because I'm really excited. We have more volunteers coming this week, and I have people contacting me from all over, not just in our community, but somebody in Ross was wanting to come by. And we have some extra spots available now that everything's planted. If somebody is interested in starting their own little garden, they can come and plant there on one of our beds. We have plenty of spaces available. So that's all. Thanks.
Thank you. Next item, fiscal officer's report.
Oh, excuse me, before we do have the contact information for this
We have
couple,
everyone's
right?
contact
Okay.
information right
So
here.
we're able to follow back
Yes,
up.
we are. We have
Okay.
both of their phone numbers. We have their
Okay.
address. We have everything right here.
Great.
Did you want these back or want to leave them with us?
Okay. All right, thank you. I'm sorry, Ms. Schultz.
Just one quick update. I know you've been anticipating anxiously the audit, but it hasn't even started yet. I think I've let you guys know that it's a state audit this year since we've hit 10 years, and obviously the state must be very behind. So we haven't even started. So just wanted to give you that update.
Okay, motion to suspend the reading of the minutes from the trustee regular meeting of March 8th, April 12th, 2022, and the township special meeting of April 26th, 2022.
Second?
Any discussion? Mrs. Schultz?
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes?
Motion to approve those minutes?
Second?
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
No?
Motion to pay the bills?
Second?
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes?
And that passes. Administrator's report, please.
The main thing I have to report is that salt pricing came in. It's the highest I've seen since I've been at the township. It's $75 and some change. Was that Morton salt that one was awarded this year? That was the main thing I had. So we'll have to budget accordingly, appropriate accordingly.
Maybe have the first resolution, please.
Resolution 2273 to approve open purchase order balances.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Any discussion?
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes?
That passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2274, authorizing the Fairfield Township Administrator to execute all necessary documents to renew the township's coverage with Otarma through Clark Theaters Risk Source Insurance Agency at a cost of $149,184, effective June 1st of 2022 through June 1st of 2023. And last year, it was $140,138.
Motion to adopt 2274?
Second?
Any discussion?
It'll be prorated by department based on our individual costs.
Correct.
It'll include all of our new vehicles.
Correct.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes?
That passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2275 to authorize the debt service payment of $22,681.25 to the Bank of New York Mellon. This is an interest payment.
Motion to adopt.
Second. Any discussion?
And it's for the west side of Princeton Road.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes?
That passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2276 to authorize debt service payment of $29,775 to U.S. Bank. This is for the east side of Princeton Road and is also an interest payment.
Motion to adopt.
Second?
Any discussion?
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes, and just the record does say we have a balance of $1.56 million.
Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2277 to authorize the debt service payment of $11,103.22 to PNC Bank And this is part of the Butler County TID Highway Improvement Bond for State Route Bypass 4, another interest payment.
Second?
Any discussion?
Trustee Hart, sorry.
I'm sorry, it shows that the balance on that is, it looks like 1.9 million. I don't know if that's got a old date on it.
Yeah, because the TID pays a portion of that.
This is our portion though, so we do. This is the third portion.
Okay,
So
so that
one
is,
point, I think it's 1.2.
Yeah, this is an old piece of paper. I see, it does have a balance over here on the right-hand side. It's 1.159.
Trustee Harkemaier,
Yes,
Trustee Birdie,
Yes.
Trustee McAbey,
Yes,
that passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2278, authorizing debt service payment of $527,332.44 to Huntington Bank for repayment of the $5 million general obligation bond that was used for the construction of the Public Works Building, remodel of the police station, and improvements to Gilmore. And this actually includes a principal and interest payment. A second set will be paid in December.
to adopt.
Second?
Any discussion?
2904, is the 4902, is that the,
project fund. That's the little bit of money we have left. So I thought I would just pay it on this since it was used for that. 183,000 is in there. Okay.
That's the 4902.
Yes,
And it's a $492,000 principal payment, the rest is interest.
yes.
You don't know the balance on that, do you?
I do. Do you have my spreadsheet? It is 3,059,000.
This is like the second year of making things. Something like that.
Yes.
There's no problem with that, is it? Using part of the leftover bond issue to make the payment on the debt?
I don't believe so, no.
Anything else? Okay. Trustee Harkemaier,
Yes,
Trustee Birdie,
Yes.
Trustee McAbey,
Yes,
that passes. May we have the next resolution, please?
Resolution 2279, authorizing the administrator to sign the renewal contract for lease of printers and plotter from Woodhill LLC. This is who we currently have used and where we have been leasing the equipment. And it's the most current, up-to-date equipment. And this comes out to $5 more a month.
Motion to adopt?
Second?
what is the payment on it?
Chuck, do you remember it's 800 and something? I don't have the contract here. It was not like $895 a month, I believe.
$895.
That's what I can remember, but I'd have to go pull it and double check, and then spread out among the departments.
the new
Not
amount.
on the back.
No,
Supposed to be Exhibit A. Not
not this one. I can pull it up.
Yeah. Oh, it's 867.
86707.
you wanted. Good.
Yep.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes,
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee Mackabee.
Yes.
that passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2280 to authorize the sale or auction of vehicle value greater than $2,500, which is obsolete, unfit, or unneeded for public use. And this is, we're requesting to go to Gov Deals for the Public Works Department 2009 Ford F-350 with plow.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
We got a minimum bid of $2,500.
Chief, I don't know. Chief, where will you start that? You and Jeff haven't discussed yet.
To the board, I normally start at 500. It scares people when you put 2,500. And I just assumed it'd be done in one auction instead of two. Last time we set when it's electronic review board, we had a day auction.
We've made more than 2,500 on almost every vehicle, I think, haven't we?
Typically do better if we start with that version.
I just asked because that's, it said,
The expectation is that it will go for more than 2,500 because it's a one-ton truck with a
The ORC dictates.
Well, the statute, the
Yeah.
ORC has two different ways of dealing with
Right.
getting rid of these vehicles, depending on if they're worth more than 2,500 in the board's opinion or worth less. You're just opining that you believe it's worth more than $2,500. It can be sold for less than that, but it's your opinion that it's worth more than that, and that way you're going to auction it off on Gov Deals.
the resolution says the board, this vehicle has a fair market value of 2,500 or more.
Right, you're fine.
That's what it says. So
That doesn't mean you can't sell it for less. It just means that the board is of the opinion that it's worth $2,500 or more.
Is the truck running?
Just the major problem is, less, probably the other. It's listed off. We had budgeted to replace this truck. Unfortunately, replace it with, like this truck we got this year. Just wanted to sit around and use this.
It's not currently useful. It's not.
So again, maybe we split it up and try to get more money that way? Or try to go the way to do it?
Just don't have to work ahead and strengthen the file. I'm pretty confident that you're gonna see the expectation that we'll go based on the vehicles that we have sold that are in civil or worse condition. But the code requires, if we think it's worth 2,500, it has to go to resolution. If we don't believe it's worth that, then we can auction it without going to the board for resolution. Hence why the 2,500 is there. That's what trips the resolution requirement. So it would not be my recommendation to start with.
So having that in here doesn't restrain us and make us do 2,500. Right?
It does not.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes,
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee Mackabee.
Yes.
that passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2281, authorizing fire chief to execute agreement with Butler Tech, donating the 2013 Horton ambulance in exchange for training services. And this would be for the school fire education program, $20,000 value in training dollars.
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Any discussion?
Such a fair deal to us.
It's a great partnership to have. Hopefully that pipelines some more people into our fire department and police department.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes,
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee Mackabee.
Yes.
that passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2282, authorizing the Fairfield Township Administrator to execute all necessary documents to renew the township's coverage for cyber insurance through CFC at an annual cost of $9,862.50, effective June 1st, 2022, and runs through June 1st, 2023.
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Any discussion?
CFC is,
The name of the company?
what it stands for.
I don't. What I can tell you is a very, very intensive, thorough vetting. The cyber concerns continue to increase, and it's taken more and more seriously. We had to work with SWOCA to answer an extensive questionnaire and created all kinds of situations where we're trying to reduce liability and potential for harm to the township. So they really have worked hard with us.
$1 million, that's all it's called, protection.
Yeah, I raised it a couple years ago. It was a lot lower. I think I doubled it. We can go higher if we need to.
I think there's some protection also on the OTARMA policies. There,
There is.
There is,
I believe so.
There
yes.
is.
how much coverage is that?
I think it's 250,000, isn't it?
I have to look, but I think you're right.
That's how much it increase instead of this?
I don't think so. OTARMA, I would read through their, I didn't talk to the agent, but I was reading through their materials, and they have actually a limit that applies to a number of the townships that are in their risk pool. And it can even be less. I guess if there's a large cyber or terrorism attack, there's a maximum amount that they'll pay for everyone. And I think the highest limit you could get from them was $250,000. That's at least the way I read it.
Right. I mean, I could talk to Rick Theaters to find out. The largest ransomware I heard of was the $2 million at Union. That's the largest I've heard occur, and that's a much larger township.
Well, they just said no. They didn't pay.
They sure did.
Who said no?
Union Township.
Union. But they lost a significant amount of data, which we're working hard so that would not occur. Not that they did not, but
So which policy would be primary then?
I haven't read the policies. I just read the
This-
proposals.
Do we have $1.2 million or not? Do we get them both?
I didn't read the policies. The policies may have other insurance clauses. I don't know that. We don't have the policies here.
I can look. I believe we do, and I believe CFC is primary.
We should have last year's. right?
And the CFC, I think specifically does cover terrorism, and I'm not sure that the OTARMA policy covers that.
Would you like me to do more research and send something to the board on those answers, Trustee McAbee?
Well, I think we ought to know who's underwriting it, and it's Lords of London or who.
It says St. Louis.
And other insurers, but also, what's the cost for the next million or whatever?
Okay.
We
Okay.
just to see, we can go ahead and do this and then see if we want to increase it later.
Understood. Not a problem.
Terrorism back here, deep in the back here.
I'll get those answers.
I wouldn't be surprised if they both limit their exposure. But for, that amount of money, you would think would get, should be primary.
I don't know if there's a deductible either. I'll have to research that as well. So I will get those answers and have a more thorough summary.
You know what we paid last year?
I don't know that. Could you just include that with the answers that you're gonna?
Absolutely.
The documentation just says CFC though.
Yeah, it's a subsidiary.
They don't want to really tell you that's. I don't see it anywhere. It's gotta say.
I'm going to find out what it stands for. I will find out what we paid last year. I will find out what it costs for the additional coverage, deductibles, who is primary. I will get all that information.
Still see me.
Yeah, I think we should renew it and then see if we need more coverage.
And I just bring it back to the board for the additional.
Yes, please.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes,
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes,
that motion passes. Next resolution, please.
Resolution 2283, declaring nuisance and ordering abatement on the properties listed below, and further authorizing the zoning administrator to initiate complaint. Properties include 2310 Imlay Avenue for junk and debris and inoperable vehicle, 3588 Don Drive for commercial vehicle, 6380 Osage Drive for junk and debris parking of vehicle, and 6767 Lester Avenue for junk and debris.
let's go, Doc.
Second.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes,
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes,
and that passes. Under announcements, we have a cruise in-car show at Bridgewater Falls on Saturday, May 14th from 11 to 3. Our next zoning commission meeting will be held on Wednesday, May 18th, 2022 at 7 p.m. The Memorial Day observance at Heroes Park will be held on Monday, May 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Our offices will be closed to observe the Memorial Day holiday on Monday, May 30th, 2022. We will be having movie night at Heroes Park on Friday, June 10th from 8 to 10 p.m. And our next Fairfield Township Board of Trustees meeting will not be on June 14th. It will be on June 15th, correct?
Yes.
At 7 p.m. Board member comments?
so we have another resolution on the three-way agreement.
That was passed at the last meeting. I sent an email out on that today.
We passed it at the last meeting.
Right, it's resolution 2258. The reason I was a little confused is we passed 3 resolutions and we authorized the signing of 4 different agreements. And I was trying to make sure all our ducks were in a row. Then I found out that when I read it over, the TIP, tax increment financing agreement, was an exhibit to the tri-party agreement. And in the same resolution, we passed both agreements. So I wrote today, it said, take that off the agenda.
Didn't get that.
I sent a copy to
But
you
you did it at 5:30.
No, it was earlier.
before lunch.
Yeah.
Okay. There's been a couple of commercial applications. I was wondering if Mr. Goins could tell us what's being built in the township. I see there's 5 for this year, 3 new ones for April. People keep asking me, what's that building on Collinsville Road? And I'm like, I wish I knew.
Sure, the one on Tylersville Road specifically. That's there's a
Way north.
okay, sure. The one on Tylersville Road's a Dollar General near bypass.
Is that what it's gonna be, a Dollar General?
That's correct.
I guess so. Just where it looked.
Yeah,
That's in the JED, right?
it is in the JED.
What's that, on the B2?
It's B2. What other locations were you curious about?
Oh, well, I was going to ask you about the Seward Road. How big a check was it to?
I can get the
30,000,
check amount back.
40,000? It was a big one, wasn't
It was a good one. Yeah, it's a good size
I
check.
think the last one was 29,000.
It was a smaller building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Chick-fil-A's under construction. Any
Yep.
idea when?
Chick-fil-A's remodeling. I don't know the date. I can get you that.
They said June
They'll
27th.
be thrilled. They'll be thrilled when it's done.
Well, it can't be.
They're making some improvements to the drive-through.
Wow, it works like a
I
charm.
know, right? So,
It does. I mean, if you want something done, get it that drive-through. They get you right out of there.
it's efficient. It's efficient. They're widening the lanes even more, and
Well, I think a little safer for the youngsters standing out there.
I think so.
I think part of it is also the traffic coming into Bridgewater
They're trying-
often gets backed up because of the right turn.
This
in.
won't fix that.
They're trying to increase the stacking capacity on their site, but we'll see. We'll see. They do well.
Really? 6 weeks? Never think. Well, maybe they will. I do. I'm missing my chicken. Where's Casey's?
So Casey's, I spoke with them recently. They're saying mid to late May start date now. They're working on. They're trying to perform construction on 2 different locations simultaneously. I think just to reduce management overseeing the jobs. They haven't done anything yet.
So,
Everything's approved through the county for that.
okay. So there's a zoning case dealing with that same property or the property around it?
There is, yeah. There's a zoning case for the zoning commission just next week. It's Bridgewater Falls is coming back. They want to enlarge the BPUD, so they're going to need to change a portion of the A1 into BPUD, and then they want to incorporate that into the existing planned unit development through a major modification of the preliminary. More marketable. They're trying to make the site a little more marketable. I think they're having.
Instead of getting a market person to come like they did before.
Yeah,
They
they're
buy it and then come to it.
they have someone else kind of spearheading it after this point. Someone who has a little more experience with it than the church does.
So what changes are they making to what we've already done? They're just going to add some property to the deed? Or is this affecting Casey's footprint at all?
It's not going to impact Casey's footprint at all. It's just really it's incorporating the existing aesthetic criteria into the new piece of land. It's just an addition of about 3.4 acres of ground
It doesn't leave much.
for the church.
Yeah.
The church is comfortable with that number. They've gone back and forth. So
They are now.
the church has been talking about it.
So this will be all the business that they're going to let develop. The Casey's and whatever can go on 3 acres.
This month. Yeah.
So again, there's a couple of them. Across the street, you've got, is that the storage unit
So yeah, on the
on the hillside?
Gilmore on the hillside, that's the storage facility that was approved through the BZA. There's a lot of earthwork to be done there. Across the street from there is it's a little strip mall. I think they're going to have a smoothie shop as one of their end caps, multi-unit building as part of the Menards BPD.
And then further down will be the Christian zone, all the way down.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm still missing one somewhere. I don't know. Anybody else renovating or? What's new?
Yeah. I don't know. Caliber Collision. Okay, Caliber Collision. That's behind Fear, next to Hobby Lobby there.
Oh. How big a place is that going to be?
It's a good question. More of them.
Right? Yeah, if you let us know how big that check was on that first building.
Yeah, and we're starting to get a lot more. We're starting to get more residential zoning certificate applications in. So
Like where,
things are moving, mostly in the development on Liberty Fairfield.
I haven't been down that way. I'll take a ride.
Oh yeah, they have roads in. They're
Really?
digging. Yeah, they're working. They're making
You got the-
progress.
Who's
Making
that
progress.
They
building
got the model home. going
It's
across
MI.
another house.
MI. Yeah.
at? Who's that building there? Who's the builder?
MI homes.
The townhouses at the end of the bypass, they're moving some dirt.
Yeah.
They look like, I thought we had a 50-foot, I'm gonna leave 50 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Looking, I might have to get a tape measure to go out there, because, have you been out there?
Not with the tape measure.
You
No.
go with the
No.
tape measure.
Yeah.
Because it looks
I've.
to me like they're inside that 50 feet.
Yeah.
Find
There-
out,
there was
take
a- there-
picture, 'cause they're gonna put it
There's
back.
definitely a discrepancy of where the property line is for the people who already are there. So there were a lot of fences that were, you know, out of bounds.
I didn't ask that question. Which fence?
Which fence?
You know what I mean? That,
Oh, there's quite a few.
yeah.
Yeah.
It should be on the site, right? On your site?
Oh yeah, it's on the site. It's on all the plans they submitted. It's clear.
Because that's what, that's right on those houses, and it doesn't look like 50 feet.
Hmm.
So maybe I'm looking at the wrong thing. But you can check that out and let us know.
Sure.
Make them aware. Because they were supposed to leave, weren't they?
Oh yeah, no,
They were supposed to leave
I've
50
spoke with
feet,
them about
and they
that.
Still do now.
Mhm.
Are you-
Yep.
Like on the Bob Evans side?
Are you talking about the Bob Evans side, or are you talking about the residential where it abuts
Well,
the
it's
residential?
side, yes. But
Right.
it's
So
bottom
the
going on
north
Bob
side.
Evans End. And you go down through there, and they're mighty close to the back of Oneida.
Yeah.
Oneida,
Like on the,
those cul-de-sacs that come up in
oh,
there.
that's, okay, you're concerned about the back
Well, I
part
think they're
there.
within the
the-
50 feet, and they promised us 50
They-
feet.
It was real. The existing vegetation on that end was pretty thin on that side.
Spin it down.
Yeah. Okay.
You can check that out.
Sure thing.
Back, I
Yep.
appreciate it. The TID met this week. We're dealing with several projects, Milliken Road interchange, and Ms. Hartman might know more about that. Okay, but that's going places. That's going to happen in our lifetime. The North Hamilton Crossing meeting last week. First half was sort of boring, and then it got a little more interesting, and that kind of thing. We're going to meet again and try to narrow it down to two or three options. Still not sure. They haven't given us any economic development numbers that I've heard. Although in the meeting the next day, City of Hamilton announced a couple of large ones. So you can see the connection there maybe. But I talked to the St. Clair Township trustee, and they're concerned about where it's going. Of course, the Bonhams are still very concerned. So we need to just stay focused on that to make sure that we get both into that. And all of a sudden, it was stage 3. It might never be done. And all of a sudden, I got this feeling in the meeting that it may be first. Yeah, well, I could be wrong on that, but we spent a lot of time when one of the commissioners got involved in the conversation on that end. It was like, maybe we ought to do all this, So, of course, money will have something to say about that.
Because I think they were going to use that to cost justify the entire project. So it would be more if they look at being able to spread it out. That's what they would use in order with it, because it would help more people theoretically. They would want to include all phases of the project, but part of the phase 3 would go right by zoners. So I think there would probably be some concerns from our residents about that.
So they really haven't budged on that. He said they moved that as far away from the residential as he could. 440 feet was the number that he said he was looking at it. And then 120 foot of right of way. So again, but of course in today's paper, they're doing away with the county home. So that's, in the current diagram, they turn hard left to go around that.
Right.
There's nobody using that building. Could take a move back to the east. So again, we need to make sure, and I'm sure you are. I don't know if you had a chance to look at all those options, but it's $100 million road. It's 3 miles long, and it moves 5 to 15% of the traffic off of High Street to wherever it goes.
Right. It's a lot of money for a little bit of movement.
Correct.
So anyway, the TID is going to have a special meeting between now and the middle of July, because there'll be some kind of movement on that. So the stakeholder meeting should be 30 days out. I'm hoping that we have time to make sure everybody's aware. That's all I.
So they have not announced a date for that next meeting yet?
They have not. They're
Okay.
going to do more research about it. The Black Street Bridge came back up, and of course they can't decide on where they want the bridge. They still want something at Washington, North Washington Boulevard across the river. So there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. And there really wasn't anything, I didn't hear anything new from the meeting before. Really, of course, we're all still on the same page as far as what we think. That's what
Thanks for the update on that. I will not be able to attend the May 23rd Memorial Day service here at Veterans Park. I apologize. Susan's uncle passed away, and we'll be in Central New York for that. And then the Fairfield Memorial Day Parade is coming up, I think, on Memorial Day, the 30th. I think it's Memorial Day, right? The 30th?
30th, that's correct.
And so I know typically the township has participated with fire trucks or police vehicles, and trustees have been part of that. So that's on the radar, but I will also be out of town for that. We're visiting our son in Boston. So hopefully you can have some participation if you're available. I know, Mr. McAbee, you tend to not want to do the Memorial Day Parade in the past.
Yeah, I'm unavailable on the 30th.
Had an opportunity to have lunch with the school superintendent and the board president today, as well as the city manager of Fairfield and the mayor and Mrs. Vonderhaar, just to kind of touch base with how things are going with the city and the schools. And we have a really good relationship between Fairfield Township and the city of Fairfield and the schools, and just nice to catch up and make sure that we're all still enjoying each other's company. So just more of a relationship building lunch, and that's where we talked about the Memorial Day Parade. I just wanted to pass that information along. So it was really good to have that meeting. I had something else, but I forgot what it was. So I guess it really wasn't that important, or I would have remembered it. So thank you, Mrs. Vonderhaar, for being at the lunch today. It was good to see the relationships that you're building with the city manager. I think that's really good for both communities that you have that great relationship. So thank you for being there. Hope everyone has a great Memorial Day, and honor those that sacrificed everything for our country. And it's not Veterans Day, but definitely Memorial Day is very important. So, and that's all I have.
Okay, a couple things. I attended the OKI meeting on behalf of the Butler County Township Association back in April. A lot of the talk centered around charging stations. There is a significant amount of money that's budgeted for that. So there's going to be work between ODOT and OKI on finding different corridors and locations to put that. There's talk of creating alternative energy corridors where there would be these charging stations being set up. So that's just something to keep in mind, was Bridgewater Falls might potentially be looking at a charging station, that we make sure that all of that is linked up together. There was also a very good presentation about apps that are available on OKI. That's the Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana Regional Transportation Board. And you can check out their website, but they have a number of different apps. For example, if you're thinking about getting solar on your house, they have an app where you can see if your house would do well with solar. So you can look that up and they'll type in your address and it'll say your house would be a great candidate for solar based on your trees and whatever else is there and the number of days of sunshine. So they talked a good bit about some of those different things. Let's see, they touched on Brent Spence Bridge a little bit and funding. I think that is moving forward. Let's see, those were probably the high notes for OKI. I also attended the CLOUT, the Coalition of Large Urban Townships, of which Fairfield Township is a member of, and I'm one of the designated representatives for Southwest Ohio right now. So a couple of things that came up. There's some talk at the state level on Airbnb and zoning issues. The discussion is about property rights versus neighbors' rights. You know, if your neighbor put in an Airbnb, what would that look like, especially if you don't want that? So that's something that we should think about in case that comes up down the road. There's a bill right now that is challenging the 1,500 part-time threshold in conjunction with the Affordable Care Act. For smaller townships, they're trying to add some hours, and for larger townships, it's not a lot, but it's something. Let's see. That's probably the high-level discussions for that. I attended the EMA board meeting today on behalf of Fairfield Township, and they gave an update. They talked about some of the tabletop activities that they did. They talked about some of the storage of the PPE that they have accumulated during COVID. They're looking at potentially getting because it's at the fairground right now, it's going to have to be cleared out before the fair. So they're looking at other options for that down the road. We are also moving forward with our fire task force meeting. That will be on May 26th. Chief Thomas has been assisting with that. We sent out a questionnaire with an invitation to get some input from other townships on what their pain points and potential solutions are. We've received some feedback, and some folks, it looks like, will be attending that too. So that's coming up. And finally, I would like to congratulate Chief Shabali and Officer Singleton, because they were honored with an award from NAMI in conjunction for their police work. If you want to talk a little bit about that, I hate to put you on the spot, but I just want to say too, when one of us do well in Fairfield Township, we all do well, and I'm very proud. So if you can just talk a little bit about what that award was about, if you wouldn't mind, for you and Officer Singleton.
Well, thank you very much. Officer Singleton won the Officer of the Year award for CIT, and that's Crisis Intervention Training. He's very involved in helping the community out and those members that need help above and beyond what police can offer. He's done a great job, so he won that award. That's the only officer in the entire Butler County who won it. And then I think they ran out of names and they pulled mine out.
I think not.
So I
Talk a little bit more
received
to
I think it's something related to just being very supportive of crisis intervention training as a chief. So we support it. I brought a lot of information in from Montgomery County. They had it for about 30 years, so I was able to help out in kind of establishing the first classes. So it continues. They're doing very well. Thank you.
And I think that's important to note that our police officers, of course, they're doing law enforcement, but I think that you go above and beyond in cases where there is a person that it might not be a law enforcement issue, but it might be a person that needs help. And we have people that we work with, Kathy Becker, for example, that can help people get the resources they need. So congratulations to you and your officers. I think that's outstanding.
Thank you.
No money, no more money. You brought it up about the short-term rental, House Bill 563. They're trying to take away the local control of that. I contacted Jennifer Gross, and I was not in favor of that, and asked her to vote no. Maybe I don't know how you guys feel about it, but it's moving so that we can't have any control over.
I like local control. I think you do too.
Maybe we ought to have a motion or send a letter or something to the leaders of the Ohio House and Senate, telling them the OTA is against it. But we're also I don't know how fast it's going to move, but like I said, I contacted Jennifer, so I think that that's the way to handle it. And let us deal with it. If we want to do it, let us do it. If we don't want to do it, of course, it won't make us. And wind and solar, it's the same thing. Who's going to control it? Should be.
So are you proposing coming up with a resolution?
A resolution or a motion to have a letter sent. I think the sooner the better. So I mean, if you guys are comfortable with that, I'll make a motion now.
Well, I mean, do you want to put together a letter and bring it to the next meeting for us to have?
But Larry can do that, or Ms. Bondar, but yeah, if you want to, that's a month away. So I don't know how fast it's moving. They're having hearings. They may be through that process. She didn't seem to think that it was going to go anywhere. But, yeah,
And so the Ohio Township Association's already sent them something saying that they're against it.
I would assume so. But that was part of one of the emails we got on one of the alerts that said that they were against it.
So I'm looking for guidance on
Okay,
that.
well, I'll make a motion to have the administrator send a letter in opposition to House Bill 563. I think I have the number right. It's the one dealing with short-term rentals.
And you want it addressed to,
I want to send to the leaders.
to Jennifer Gross, our representative, and copy the House leadership.
Anybody in
Well,
Butler County?
probably Sarah
All three of
Crothers
them,
and
all
Thomas
three of
Hall.
them,
Yeah.
Right.
And the leadership.
Okay.
Is that okay?
I second the motion.
Well, and we could potentially use George Glover to assist with that too.
You're the elder statesman here.
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
Yes.
Anything further? Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Trustee Harkemaier.
Yes.
Trustee Birding.
Yes.
Trustee McAbey.
We adjourn at 8:13.
8:13.
That would have cost us how much?
An hour and 13 minutes.
It should be 15-minute increments or something. Shouldn't have to pay for that second hour. It's a little over.
What's half hour increments? Oh, no, first 2 hours. First hour is 175, and then half hour increments is 87.50.